Hello, everybody, and I welcome you all to the PMP certification training program. In PMP training program, what we're going to learn today, we're going to learn today about what is project and its importance of the project management. We will also understand the relationship between project, program, and portfolio and operations management, the key components of project management, how to go about doing tailoring, and the most importantly, some of the project management business documentation. But before we get on to the PMP training program, let me introduce myself. My name is Prashant, and I have total experience of 17 years. I worked in different domains like FMCG, pharmaceuticals, even for that matter, the banking domain and sales and marketing, etc. I not only worked in projects, but also I've worked in enterprise level programs. So I'm going to share with you all my experience of working on various projects and how I applied the knowledge, skills, the experience that I've gained so far by working through various projects and programs, and how PMP certification helped me in applying some of these basic concepts as well as some of the specialized concepts in terms of risks as well as the scheduling, etc., that we're going to talk about today. I'm not only PMP certified, but also I'm PMI ACFE certified. So that is one of the best part I have seen here, because with the sixth edition of PMP certification, now the PMI has also ensured that the Agile is embedded as a part of the PMBOK guide, sixth edition, which is already introduced. So I can definitely be in a position then to compare it with the Agile way of working and with the traditional way of working. And also, I'll be able to explain with you very well some of these agile concepts that are now embedded as a part of PMBOK guide. Apart from that, I have also done Lean Six Sigma Black Belt certification, and that's really very, very useful, I found. At the same time, considering that there are a lot of Lean and Six Sigma projects where you can also apply some of the learning out of the PMP certification that I have had. It's been over 5 years that I'm PMP certified, and I have realized that attending PMP certification training program is how important when we begin our PMP certification journey. And if you are looking out for such a training program, then you are definitely at the right place, because this training program will help you prepare well for the PMP examination. And PMP certification training program is based on the sixth PMBOK guide edition. And we will be talking about some of the latest editions in terms of the contents that the PMI has ensured to be there as a part of the PMBOK guide, sixth edition. And some of these concepts are covered with the help of examples. In this training, what am I going to do? Basically, I will be taking you through various topics that are there as a part of the PMBOK guide, sixth edition. At the same time, we will also be going through what it takes to get that PMP certification, get that PMP credential, why the PMP credential is important. At the same time, where all the PMP credential could help you in Excel in terms of different industries that we see here. Apart from that, we will be also actually going to go through some of the documentation, some of the artifacts of the actual projects that were delivered. So those artifacts, those documents will definitely give you an idea about how you can go about writing a project charter, or how you can go about writing a project documents like business case. So I welcome you all once again to the PMP certification training program. And I can see here John, Matt, Sridevi, and so many of you have joined this training program, and I welcome you all. So if you have any questions, I would like you all to put it in the chat box, and that will help me in taking a pause, reading your question, and I'll try to answer your question then and there itself. Apart from that, also, if you have any question any point in time, you can certainly raise your hand. This is an interactive training program that we're having, and hence feel free to participate and try to converse with me through this virtual mode that we are getting this training program starting. So with this, let's get on to the training program actually. What we will be doing basically is that as a part of this training program, we'll be talking about the introduction first, which talks about a little bit about PMP certification. And this will kind of help us in getting our journey started as far as the PMP certification is concerned. Now, I'm sure some of you may have multiple questions on your mind, like why I should be going for PMP certification. I remember a lot of people asking me question, especially people from IT as well as non-IT. Now that we also have PMI ACP and we have a PMP certification as well. So why we should go for PMP certification? I strongly believe that for those people who would like to develop their career in the area of project management, and if they want to strengthen their foundation of project management, PMP certification is definitely the one certification that we should look forward to. Apart from that, there are numerous advantages of doing the PMP certification. As you can see here on the screen, some of these advantages we have highlighted. One of the most important benefit I see of doing PMP certification is this is the most recognized certification today in the industry. And not only in a particular industry, but you go to any industry that you work for, this is definitely one certification that the companies are looking into people who are aspiring to become the project managers. This is globally recognized certification by all the industries, as I said. Apart from that, this particular certification, PMP, not only demonstrate your knowledge, but most importantly, it also ensures that you have experience before you apply for the certification. So it takes care of your experience, your education, and the competency. So all this put together makes you the PMP certified individual. And that's its strength. And that's precisely why many industries out there today look for people who are certified into PMP certification. Now, this will certainly help you increase your marketability when you go out looking out for a job, or within your organization when you look out for promotions. One of the things that I have seen certainly gives us edge over competition is this credential, which is PMP certification. And we also found typically people who are PMP certified, people who are PMP professionals, they have got 15 to 20% higher salaries over the non certified people. So PMP certification will definitely put you on spot and give you edge over many people out there who are looking out for the job opportunities into the project management. Or if you want to develop your career in this area, then you're definitely looking for a right certification. I was just talking about different industries. So we have already listed some of the industries here, but you name the industry and you will find that PMP certification could certainly be a big value add. But to name few industries, as you see on the screen, be it from the water supply to protection to mobile services, education, healthcare, apart from that, even public transportation. So many of these industries that you see today, they actually look out for professionals who are PMP certified when they come and work on any projects, be it IT, non-IT projects across domains and industries. PMP certification is definitely very well recognized. In terms of job opportunities, if you see, sometimes people keep thinking about would there be any job opportunities by doing the PMP certification. So obviously you have gained some experience into project management. On the top of that, you have done a PMP certification. That will certainly strengthen your case when you go out in the market and look out for the job. As far as the overall opportunities are concerned to the project management role, by 2020 they are only going to grow. And as you see on the screen, we've got these opportunities as far as the growth is concerned. As you can see in China, in US, everywhere today, the project management roles are going to go up many folds by 2020. That means there is huge opportunity for you out there in the market to apply for these roles that will be created as a part of the project management. And PMP certification will certainly strengthen your case when you'll go out and apply for some of these roles. Now, how to embark on this journey? As I can see here, Matt asking this question, how to go about really doing the PMP certification? And this question is there, I'm sure, on everybody's mind. Now, when you decide to do PMP certification, first of all, I must appreciate your decision that yes, you have taken the right decision. And we have just now seen why is it so. Now, when you decide to do PMP certification and when you just commit to yourself, yes, I want to be a PMP certified person, then by when should you get started your journey? You should embark your journey approximately 1.5 to 2 months before you actually take the examination. So as you can see here, you take the examination sometimes here, all right? So from that particular date, 1.5 to 2 months before, you actually schedule your examination. And before that itself, you undertake or you undergo a training program. So you attend PMP certification training program. And I would encourage you to attend this training program, which is by Edureka. And this particular training program will certainly cover everything that it takes for you to become PMP certified. Not only the certification, but also other support you will get here. The first and most important support that you will get is once you enroll for the virtual training program by Edureka, a lot of things will be covered. And when you will embark this journey for PMP certification, I'm sure a lot of questions must be there on your mind, and you would always need somebody who can support you, who can guide you. That means you're at the right place. Once you enroll for this program will cover not only the course outline defined by PMI for the PMP certification based on the PMBOK guide, 6th edition, but also a lot of support you will get from for submitting application. I've seen many people coming to me and asking me guidance on how to write an application, a successful application, because that's also very important. Your application might get rejected if you do not fill the application properly. So that application, how to really go about writing the application, how to put your experience, how to ensure that you write properly about your project, the experience that you're showing in whichever the project that you have done in the past, how to ensure that you put down the experience which is non-overlapping within the last 80 years, right? So all these things are certainly going to be looked into. And then once the application formalities are completed, let's say before 1 to 3 weeks, then you can schedule your examination. And once the exam is scheduled, the advantage here would be that you would get a target now that after 2 to 3 weeks, my exam is going to be there, or maybe after 4 weeks, I have got my exam coming up. So that means you get a target date, and this much of time you would get certainly to prepare yourself. Now, by the time you have already attended the training program, that means you have already gone through all the basics and you had gone through various knowledge areas, process groups, as well as definitely a lot of questions which we cover as part of training as well. So all that is already covered. So it'll be then very easy for you to prepare for your examination during this period of 4 to 6 weeks after the training is completed, after you schedule your examination. So you will get complete support from the Edureka to fill out your application. Even if your application gets selected for the audit, because approximately 20% application may get selected for the audit, and many times there could be a confusion in terms of how to face audit. There also you'll get a lot of support here and assistance to face the audit from Edureka team. Personalized guidance will be provided by the SMEs like us who actually support delivering the training program throughout this study. And most important thing is that you will have access to the course anytime. So even if you want a particular topic to be repeated, you can always go back, repeat that topic, attend that topic again. You can sharpen your skills. You can revise a particular question, for example, or maybe you want to clarify about understanding on a particular topic or in a particular area. You can always go back and do that. And that's the biggest advantage with this training, I believe, unlike the classroom training. So at times in classroom training, what happens if you're not paying attention? That means you're gone. You can't really go back and ask to repeat the same topic. And after the training's over, then there is no opportunity at all. But here, the biggest opportunity that you would get is you can always go back and play the recording, play the session as many times as you want. Over and above, there are also 1,000 mock questions, and this is the most important thing. Once you are ready for the examination, especially in the last couple of weeks, you should be only focusing on taking up those mock questions. And from where those mock questions will come, you can certainly refer to the Edureka course for the mock questions. And 1,000 is definitely a good number. And I always recommend before we appear for the final exam, once you complete your study, it's important that you should appear for the examination by taking full 200 questions, by sitting at once and taking those 200 questions at once, at least twice before you appear for the exam. That will give you confidence not only of facing questions, but most importantly, sitting at a place for 4 hours, because this exam duration is 4 hours. And all those questions will come from these mock questions that are already designed, taking into consideration various contents and, of course, the new topics, the new PMBOK guide changes that have happened. So once you clear the examination, once you are PMP certified, obviously you have to renew your certification every 3 years. And even for renewal, you need 60 PDUs, and those 60 PDUs will come from the courses that you will attend through Edureka. So Edureka definitely help there as well. You can get assistance in e-learning for earning different PDUs. There are various courses that you can undergo, and within 3 years, again, you complete 60 PDUs and you can renew your examination successfully. The most importantly, you will get support from Edureka team 24/7 when you will enroll for this course. So I would strongly encourage you all to look no further than enrolling for the PMP certification course from Edureka. So let's continue this session and let's understand more about the training approach overall. How are we going to deliver this training program for you all? So we are going to cover here the PMI's philosophy, which is basically based on the contents that are outlined as a part of the PMBOK guide. So I don't know how many of you got a chance to really see the PMBOK guide, but it's definitely the big book which covers 5 process groups. There are 10 knowledge areas and there are 49 processes. And these 49 processes will ensure that you understand various concepts from project management. For example, how to take care of communication with stakeholders, how to go about putting everything in the charter and ensure that you are authorized as a project manager to work on that project and take decisions. For example, how to do continuous monitoring and controlling of the project activities. So all these concepts are going to be covered as part of this training. And most importantly, for each of these processes, there will be inputs, tools, techniques, and outputs. There are these 4 things that we cover as a part of each and every process. So all these 49 processes will be covered and we'll be doing deep dive into inputs, tools, and techniques and output for each of these processes. And we have taken lots and lots of examples. On the top of that, I have also covered some of the actual artifacts of the project, so which gives you an idea about how a project charter actually looks like or how a business case actually looks like. So we'll of course cover as part of this module a business case, the benefit realization plan, and I'll try and also give you an idea about how the project plan typically looks like. On the top of that, we have also covered questions at the end of each of the module. So we have discussed question, we have reviewed some of these questions, and feel free to participate if you want to clarify the answer of any of the questions that we're going to cover as well today. So if you have any questions from whatever the topics that we covered so far, please feel free to put your questions in the question box that I've already showed you where it is and start participating in the session. To continue with, we have so far covered about a little bit about PMP certification, a little bit about PMI certification. Now we'll talk more about PMI as an institute. So if you see PMI, it's a very old institute, established in 1969. That means if you actually see PMI has completed more than 45 years, and it's a global organization with headquarters in USA, Pennsylvania. And it's a project management institute which is based on non-profit organization. It's a non-profit association altogether. Most importantly, this institute is there worldwide in over 171 countries, and over 5 lakh members are associated today with this institute. Now PMI actually actively engages a lot of professionals across globe, and these professionals are engaged through conducting research in the area of project management, as well as providing access to wealth and information. So lots of wealth of information and resources are available today with PMI related to project management. Now under project management, again, various areas. So that wealth of information you will get to access once you become the member of PMI. PMI also promotes career and professional development, and lots of other certifications also it offers. And most importantly, it offers the opportunity to network and form the communities. So you'll find there are local chapters, there are local PMI chapters where people from the local area, they come and participate and they talk about what's going on in the project management space and exchange their knowledge. They share their knowledge. So that certainly helps big time. As I mentioned that there are certifications from PMI, like some of you were asking about what else is there apart from the PMP certification. So as you can see here on the screen, to begin with, people they have just started in the project management or they would like to start, for them certified associate in project management is one of the certification for the beginners in the project management. Then they can move to the PMP certification, Now, people who are working in Agile or would like to have experience, again, they're working in Agile, they have experience in Agile, they can go for PMI ACP certification. Apart from that, if you want to do a deep dive, then go for scheduling professional. So again, you are working in project management and for quite some time, if you want to strengthen your some of these areas like scheduling, so you can certainly do the deep dive into scheduling per se, and then you also complete the certification. Same is the case with risk management. So if you have been practicing project management for quite some time, if you want to get into a sort of a specialization into risk, then I would recommend you the risk management professional. Otherwise, also you can certainly jump into this because risk management is definitely one of the important processes that we talk about as a part of PMP as well. Apart from that, if you want to go for a little next level certifications, like you have been doing project management for quite some time and now you got promoted into program management, so you can certainly go for PGMP is another certification. And from there again, from program, you can jump on to the portfolio management professional as well as you go ahead up in the ladder in your career. So as you see here, there are lots of different certifications that are available. And some of you, as Matt asked this question, that what could be done if I don't have to go for PMP certification? Is there any other option that I can opt for? So you can opt for so many options. But the fundamental option that you have already chosen for yourself is PMP certification. So even if you complete your PMP certification and if you want to continue your journey into the project management, you can certainly go for the next level, which is program management, or for that matter, the portfolio management as well. I hope I answered your question. Okay, thanks for your confirmation, Matt. All right, then I'm moving to the prerequisite. Now, this certification, the PMP certification, requires you, and this is one of the biggest advantage with PMP, unlike some of the other institute I have seen, that it ensures that you have experience, you have completed enough education, at the same time, you have also gained the actual experience of working in the project management, right? So let's take a look at the prerequisite for appearing for the PMP certification. I'm sure some of you must have already gone through the PMP certification brochure, which is available on the PMI site. I would always recommend you to go to the pmi.org and browse the PMP certification brochure because there you will get the latest information always. But as far as the qualification criteria is concerned, for PMP certification, you are expected to be high school diploma or associated degree or anything which is global equivalent, which should be like 60 months plus, and the project experience of 7,500 hours is expected, and of course 35 contact hours are required. Now these experience in the project should be within last 8 years is what we need to remember. Contact hours is fine, so you can add contact hours from last. Typically, they ask for 35 contact hours anyways, so this particular training will give you 35 contact hours. So that's another benefit of attending this training program. So you'll get a certificate and you can claim 35 contact hours out of that. The another way is if you are already a bachelor degree holder, then it's pretty straightforward. So in terms of you already have 36 plus months of the formal education. And if you have 4,500 hours of experience, now this experience should be non-overlapping experience. Working into project, not necessarily as a project manager, you could have worked in whichever the domain, whichever the area within the project management, that should be fine. And even here also, the expectation is 35 contact hours. So you don't have to worry about 35 contact hours in this case. And that's the best part because since you all have already enrolled for this program and you are going to get the certification of completion of the training and 35 contact hours you can claim through that. Now, some of the things that we need to keep in mind that this particular experience should be non-overlapping, as I explained. So if you've worked on two projects, ensure that those two projects start and end date should not be overlapping. Okay, so that is one of the important things. Then project experience should be only from last 8 years and not before that. 20% applications, as I mentioned, are picked up for random audit. So don't worry, even if your application is picked for the audit, we will definitely support you there. And apart from that, once you clear the certification, if you appear for the online examination, you will definitely get the soft copy of the certification and your score, you will immediately come to know if you appear for the online examination. Apart from that, from the prereq point of view, the designation is not an issue. This is another question which some of you were asking just now, that would there be any specific role I should have played? So in a project, there are multiple roles, right? So if you take an example of a software project, You may be a developer, or you may be a tester, or you may be just doing the deployment of the code that is written, or deployment of the releases, okay, or deployment into other environment, etc. So you are contributing, you're definitely the team member to the project that is running, right? So it is not necessary that you need to be project manager to have that experience of 4500 hours. Even if you have this experience of working on any project by any role, still you qualify for the PMP certification, provided that you have non-overlapping experience of 4500 hours, and of course the other prerequisites as we discussed. So I hope this have clarified your question about the qualification criteria to appear for the PMP examination. Now let's get on to the pattern of PMP certification. This is another important thing for us to understand. As I mentioned, PMP examination is 4 hours, so it's definitely longer. And this is where sometimes I have seen people struggle if you do not practice enough. So you have to first of all practice to sit for 4 hours, right? And therefore I mentioned that you need to at least take two full 200 question mock test before you appear finally for the examination. It's conducted in the Prometric Center, so that means it's properly invigilator. At the same time, there is an environment wherein the exam is conducted. So it's an examination environment. You'll find there is a camera and everything. So this examination is conducted in a proper Prometric center and with proper invigilation. There are 200 multiple choice questions and you'll get 4 hours. Now, out of 200 questions, what is important to notice is 175 questions are only considered for the final score. And there are 25 questions which are pre-test questions. Now, these 25 questions will not be considered for your final score, but you would not know which are those 25 questions. Hence, for you, 200 question is what you need to look for, because you won't be able to differentiate between which are those 25 questions for pre-test and which are those 175 questions. So for you, you have to attempt all the 200 questions. There is no negative marking, definitely, and the examination is developed by individuals or group of individuals. So people who have been working in the project management area for quite some time and they have acquired knowledge and skills and expertise. So these are those individuals who get to participate in the examination. I remember even PMI approached me for PMI ACP examination, but since I delivered training program, hence I didn't get to participate. But otherwise, if you don't deliver the training program and if you want to contribute actively into as a PMI, that individual or the group of people, you can certainly nominate yourself or sometimes PMI directly approach you as well. Now, after clearing the examination, as I said, you will, if it is a soft, if it is an online examination, then you can immediately see the result and you should be able to then even view your soft copy of the certificate immediately after the examination. I guess there are few hours, but that should be available more or less after the examination is completed successfully. All right, so this is about the examination pattern. Now let's come to the examination fees very quickly. We'll go through the fees that you would be paying. Now there are two options. One is computer-based testing and there is a paper-based testing also available. If you are appearing for the paper-based testing, then your score will not come immediately, right? It will take time. But if it is computer-based, then your score will definitely come immediately. Now, if you see the PM experience and education, we have already covered this part. But what you need to understand is for computer-based exam, the charges are 405, and if it is so read this as members and non-members. All right, so if you are PMI member, the charges for you will be 405. If you are not PMI members, then 555. If it is paper based, for PMI members 250, for non-PMI members is 400. Similarly, you can take a look at the re-examination, computer based and the paper based. So it's always wise, it's always, even if you do any math, you would know that it's always good to do the PMI membership, to take PMI membership and then appear for the PMP examination. So you first take the membership. Of course, you first create your account on the pmi.org site. You take the membership and then you go for the PMP certification. This way, you will land up paying more or less the same amount. But the most importantly, you will get membership for 1 year. On the top of that, you will also get a soft copy, the latest PMO guide. So that is the biggest advantage here, right? Now you can also go for the PMI local chapter membership. So these membership fees, you can check locally how much are they. And as I mentioned earlier, when you renew your PMP certification after 3 years, you will have to complete 60 PDUs, professional development units. And for this 60 PDUs also, you can certainly take up the courses of Edureka, and these courses will help you gain those 60 PDUs. Right. So if you have any questions, please feel free to put it in the chat box so that we can discuss those as well. Most important information, I remember I did mention this earlier as well, but again, I would like to emphasize that if you want to appear for PMP examination,